Humboldt County, California, Willow Creek, Bigfoot.
Near Bluff Creek. And this isn't that far away from where it all happened. I don't know how on shows like $10 million Bigfoot Bounty where they are able to find the exact spot where Bigfoot walked in 1967. And I don't even know the significance of that. Okay, you captured the footage there in 1967. But
well, I think people want to see the original location, and somehow they brought it to them.
But that's the original location where it was photographed. But there's plenty of Bigfoot sightings and videos since then. I mean, and Bigfoot...
Yeah, why do they keep going back to that particular location when there's all this other good footage?
I'd like to go to the location where the Texas Bigfoot was. That's sacred hallowed ground.
I'd like to go to the Humboldt County location.
I'd like to go where this is filmed. And what's interesting is that place in Bluff Creek does not look anything like it used to. It's all overgrown. You'd never
Things change over time.
Yeah, the forest overtakes
So, I mean, the
everything.
exact picture of Patterson-Gimlin is never going to look exactly the way it did. I mean, I'm going to show up there and say, this is where it was shot. It doesn't look anything like it.
Yeah, and I don't think you could get like a wide... That looked like a wide open place. It's all like covered in tall trees.
Well, I guess a lot's happened since then.
I want to talk about those Peruvian skulls. You had said you heard something on the news about the Peruvian... This is related to Bigfoot, but what did you hear in the news about?
It was something about they made some certain textiles that were just unique in a way that no other person had ever created before, specifically at the time that they were created.
Was that just regular Peruvians, or were the Peruvians with the elongated skulls?
No, it was the ones with the elongated skulls, from what I recall.
So it was just people that practiced that skull stretching thing? Is that the way they presented
I don't know if it was skull stretching or if they were just a different... They died out. The species completely died out.
What species completely died out?
Well, this one in particular with the skulls like this, that it was just something that was a lost...
What do you mean species?
There's no directly related ancestry.
Oh, you don't mean species. You mean just the tribe or whatever.
Whoever they were, they just completely died out.
See, what I'm hearing is that people are saying that they were... Could these be Bigfoot because they have a big peak on their head like Bigfoot? That's how I heard about it in the story. But you're saying the same people... Now in the news they said...
and I could be mistaken.
Did they say they practiced skull elongation?
I didn't hear that part of it.
What they did say is, and I'd like to see some of these things tested because a lot of times the DNA test solves everything. On all your bones in your whole body, you have left side and your right side, even on your face. And they say there's a parietal bone that's on the back of the skull on the side, and they say that this only has one.
And they can manipulate that?
They manipulate I mean, from what I understand with these people, they manipulate the skull by stretching it, binding it or whatever. When your skull is more pliable and has more cartilage in it from youth, and that's how they do that over time. But what they said is they only have one parietal bone. In other words, usually you have one side, and they fuse together. They're saying there's no fusion; it's all one bone.
No, I have heard about the manipulation of the skull for. One of the tribes, Incas or Aztecs or something like that, but it was only the royalty.
Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of tribes. I think they might even do it in Africa. I mean, there's skulls found that are, tribes no longer do with it. But I want to talk about that the next episode. A lot of times, modern science, or I should say mainstream science, doesn't want to test these things. People say, well, they have some kind of weird theory about it that's a little off the...
DNA test? They don't want to do a DNA test?
Well, they say
DNA test everything.
Yeah, they say we don't want to deal with this because it's a little strange, has to do with mysterious stuff or whatever. But I say, well, let's talk about the next episode. Let's test it.